will a medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid?
But you see how much kidnappers are taking from victims.
Please, government will always say the next person. Get that, and I think we get that. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your airline people will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning. So sorry. We apologize for bringing the program so much behind schedule. We've been battling with some technical hitches. So sorry we're bringing the program late. And incidentally, today marks our 1 year anniversary. Oh yes, yeah. You can click glass with us. Yes, how time flies. Today, exactly a year ago, we started up with our leadership podcast studio. It's been a pleasure all the way 1 year, and here we are, and we are getting stronger. We ain't going nowhere. We are here, right here in leadership and in Abuja City. My name is Winifred Ugwebo, and I'm happy to announce that 12 o'clock we are going to be having a special program to commemorate the anniversary. Please join with us. Join us 12 o'clock for a special edition of Inside Nigeria. For now, we are going to be taking a look, as we usually do on the program, a review on the papers for discussion today. And they are 4 papers on our menu, talking about leadership, Nigeria's most influential newspaper, THISDAY, The Punch, and our sister publication, National Economy. I want to welcome you once again on the program. So let's start with leadership newspaper. Leadership. Voter registration surge. Stakeholders worried over January collection date for new PVCs. Voter registration surge. Stakeholders worried over January collection date for new PVCs. The story is on page 4 of leadership. And the writer on the story says it's too close to 2023 polls. Effective distribution not guaranteed. Catholic Church advocates PVC sensitization at worship centers. Prosecute vote buyers in Ekiti. Peace Committee tells security agencies. I'll take it again. Leadership's headline story this Wednesday, June 22nd. It says, voter registration surge. Stakeholders worried over January collection date for new PVCs. Says it's too close to 2023 polls. Effective distribution not guaranteed. Catholic Church advocates PVC sensitization at worship centers. Prosecutes both buyers in Ekiti. Peace Committee tells security agencies. That is the story on page 4. It's a leading story on leadership newspaper. And I want us to see more stories on the cover of leadership. President nominates replacement for Amechi, Akpabio, Onu, others. The story is on page 6 of leadership. It's a story that trended yesterday when the President Muhammad Buhari, sent nominees to replace the former ministers that resigned to pursue their presidential ambition. These are Amechi, Akpabio, Onu, and others. The story is on page 6 of leadership. And beneath the masthead, let's go up, let's see. Beneath the masthead is a business story. It says low supply from NNPC depot heightens fuel scarcity. Low supply from NNPC depot heightens fuel scarcity. May signal end to subsidy regime. Low supply from NNPC depot heightens fuel scarcity. May signal end to subsidy regime. And of course, the story continues on the cover down to page 7 of the paper. And on the strip, we have a story again. PNB orders rescue of Kaduna train attack victims. Orders. Again, PNB orders rescue of Kaduna train attack victims. Orders. We still have about 50 of those kidnapped victims in in captivity of their kidnappers. And the story is on page 7 of leadership. Let's go above the masthead. Let's see more other stories. Yobe Primary, Machina force Adamu over Lawan's participation claim. Yobe Primary, Machina force Adamu over Lawan's participation claim. And the story is on page 9 of leadership. While Aregbesola launches 10,000 e-passports. Aregbesola launches Minister of Interior. Aregbesola launches 10,000 e-passports. And of course, you can read more on the stories on page 8 of leadership. For more on the stories for today's leading stories, you can log on to leadership's website to read more. And of course, you can also get a hard copy. From leadership, let's move over to the next paper we have on our menu, and that is this day newspaper. This day, Buhari defends Emefiele, says CBN governors unorthodox policies best for economy. Buhari defends Emefiele, says CBN governors unorthodox policies best for economy. Insists subsidy removal good on paper but has huge human consequences. Reveals 152 billion naira, 386 million dollars, 1.1 million pounds, 157,000 euros orders recovered in 2021. Alleges IPOB lobbying US Congress with millions of dollars must be declared terrorists. Declares EU's trade policies rigged against Nigeria or other African countries. On blasphemy, President insists no one has right to break the law. I'll take the leading story once again on this day. Buhari defends Emefiele, says CBN governors unorthodox policies best for economy. Insists subsidy removal good on paper but has huge human consequences. Reveals 152 billion naira, 386 million dollars, 1.1 million pounds, 157,000 euros orders recovered in 2021. Alleges IPOB lobbying US Congress with millions of dollars must be declared terrorists. Declares EU's trade policies rigged against Nigeria, other African countries. On blasphemy, President insists no one has the right to break the law. That is the headline story on this day. And above the leading story, we have another sub-head story. President seeks Senate nod for 7 ministerial nominees. President seeks Senate nod for 7 ministerial nominees. Red Chamber gets new minority leader whip. House steps down motion to override Buhari's veto on statutory delegates. APC loses 3 more senators to opposition parties. President seeks Senate nod for 7 ministerial nominees. Red Chamber gets new minority leader whip. House steps down motion to override Buhari's veto on statutory delegates. And APC loses 3 more senators to opposition parties. The story is on page 47 of this day. So for more on the stories, you can get a copy or log in to their website. And on the strip above the headline leading story, we have the story Obi must agree to be Kwankwanso's deputy as condition for coalition, says NNPP spokesman. Obi must agree to be Kwankwanso's deputy as condition for coalition, says NNPP spokesman. The story is on page 48 of this day. And you know, of course, the story has been leading. We've been hearing developments about coalition having a merger between Labour Party and NNPP, Kwankwanso's NNPP. And we have a story now that says that from the NNPP spokesman that Obi must agree to be Kwankwanso's deputy as condition for coalition. So for more on the stories, you can get a copy or log into their website to read more on it. And above the masthead, we have business news and stories on Petrol price to remain at 165 per litre, NMDPRA insists. Petrol price to remain at 165 naira per litre as NMDPRA insists. Queues to disappear in few days, NNPC assures. Depot owners lament, say 165 naira per litre unsustainable. Has summons National Oil Company, downstream regulatory authority, marketers over fuel scarcity, soaring diesel gas prices. The story is on page 47 of this day newspaper. From this day, we move over to the next paper we have on our menu, and that is the Punch. Fuel scarcity worsens, black market booms at 300 naira per litre. Fuel scarcity worsens, black market booms at 300 naira per litre. Marketers insist on price increase. Fuel stations adjust pumps, hoard products. Motorists lament 100% fare hike. Marketers differ on 1 billion naira payment to NNPC. We can't justify subsidy removal. Western countries subsidizing fuel too, Buhari. I'll take the headline story once again on the Punch. The Punch is leading with story on the lingering fuel scarcity in the country, and it has the story says fuel scarcity worsens, black market booms at 300 naira per litre. Marketers insist on price increase. Fuel stations adjust pumps, hoard products. Motorists lament 100% fare hike. Marketers differ on 1 billion naira payment to NNPC. We can't justify subsidy removal. Western countries subsidizing fuel too, Buhari. The story is the leading story today, headline news on the Punch. Let's move over. Let's see what other stories are on the paper. Let's go above the masthead, the Punch. Yes, presidential poll. Atiku raises team to woo Wike. Rivers governance camp adamant. Presidential poll. Atiku raises team to woo Wike. Rivers governors camp adamant. The story is on page 2 of the Punch. Buhari nominates 7 ministers, 3 APC senators, dump party. Page 916 of the paper is the story. More on the story. Body of benchers raises peace panel as Supreme Court justices fight CJN. Body of benchers raises peace panel as Supreme Court justices fight CJN. The story is on page 28 of the Punch. Cost of powering telecom services to hit 720 billion naira. Cost of powering telecom services to hit 720 billion naira. The story, more on the story is on page 25 of the paper. Now let's move down and let's see what the paper. Oh, just across the headline, the mast, we see banks record 1.2 trillion naira non-performing loans. Banks record 1.2 trillion naira non-performing loans, and the story is on page 20 of the Punch. FAC stays to lose 19 billion naira in oil gas revenues. World Bank. FAC stays to lose 19 billion naira in oil gas revenues, says World Bank. The story is on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. Let's move down still on the Punch and see more stories the Punch is leading with. Yes. NYSC, that is National Youth Service Corps, swears in corpers, warns against fake news. NYSC swears in corpers, warns against fake news. The story is on page 26 of the Punch, and of course we have pictures of youth corpers being sworn in on the cover of the Punch. We have across the country from Rivers, Nasarawa, and we have pictures of corpers. Ogun Court remands 5 more suspected monarchs killers. Ogun Court remands 5 more suspected monarchs killers. BRT driver flees as crush mother dies. Daughter hospitalized. BRT driver flees as crushed mother dies, daughter hospitalized. Stories on page 4 and 6 and 5 of the Punch. Pipeline vandalism. IPOB dismisses allegation as Buhari blames group. Pipeline vandalism. IPOB dismisses allegation as Buhari blames group. Page 2 of the Punch. And still on Punch newspaper, council fumes probe states for sacking 9,392 teachers. Council fumes probe states for sacking 9,392 teachers. The story is on page 18. 2,079 people died in 68 mass killings, report says. 2,079 died in 68 mass killings, according to report. Story on page 8. Electoral Act, rest move to override Buhari's veto stalled. Electoral Act, reps move to override Buhari's veto stalled. Story on page 16. And that's all we can take on the cover of the Punch newspaper. We are moving over to the last paper we have on our menu, and incidentally is our sister publication. We are going to be talking business on national economy. National economy this Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. No marketer must sell petrol above 165 naira per litre. Federal government. No marketer must sell petrol above 165 naira per litre as Lagos commercial bus operators hike fares. Depot owners lament escalating costs. No marketer must sell petrol above 165 naira per litre. Federal government as Lagos commercial bus operators hike fares. Depot owners lament escalating costs. That is the leading story on national economy. For more on the stories, you can log on to the website of national economy, or you get, if you are within the country, get a copy of national economy. Well, viewers, this is it. This is where we come to the end of today's Inside Nigeria. Like I mentioned earlier, I still want to apologize for bringing the program most behind schedule. We were having so many technical hitches, and that delayed our program. But nevertheless, we are going to be having a special package for you at 12 noon to mark our 1 year anniversary. You agree with me that time really has, time flies, that the leadership podcast studio is 1 year today, and we are going to be celebrating it in ways that we can't imagine. Don't forget to log in at 12 o'clock, and of course, Bode Gbadebo will be around 12 o'clock to take you on the special anniversary package. I remain Winifred Igboho. See you then. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.